Hey everyone, today's video is about when you're his soulmate but he doesn't like you. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and let's get going. You had thought finding your soulmate would be the best day of your life, and at first it had been. It was years ago now, but you still remember the flash of light, the way your wrist had seared with a blazing pain when the mark had appeared. The burn had been brief, but it made an impression. An intrusive mark on your wrist that glowed in faint shades of crimson and gold. It's him, you had thought, heart in your throat as you glanced across the room and found Bakugou staring back at you, his wrist raised with near identical mark. His expression was nothing like yours though, twisted, eyes narrowed, like this was some terrible inconvenience he'd have to get over. Somehow, despite his lackluster response, you had fallen in love with him anyway. Or maybe that wasn't quite it. Maybe you had always been in love with him. Some piece of you bound to him even before you had met. He was your soulmate after all, your destined partner. But Bakugou, he had never been one for things he didn't choose himself. He didn't like the idea of destiny dictating the course of his life, of some invisible cosmic force telling him who to love. And now, years later, here you were, still in love with him, your patience stretched as thin as a soft sigh escaping your lips as he barges into your apartment, slamming the door shut. You're late. You tried to keep your tone light, teasing, though it comes out a bit too strained. You have been waiting for hours. Dinner long gone cold. He gives a dismissive shrug, tossing his jacket onto the couch without sparing you a glance. Yeah, had some work to finish up. You can tell that he's very tired, shoulders tense, hair messier than usual. You step forward, reaching for his arm, but he moves away, brushing past you to head to the kitchen. It stings, that cold reaction. Still, you try to push it down. I made dinner for us, you say softly, watching as he pulls a drink from the fridge. It's probably not warm anymore, but I can heat it up. He takes a long drink before looking at you, finally meeting your gaze. I'm not hungry. I'll probably head to bed soon. Your heart sinks. You have been patient, you've tried to be, telling yourself that one day he'll come around, that the soulmate bond will mean as much to him as it does to you. But some nights are harder than others, and tonight, with the weight of his coldness pressing in, he can't stop the words from slipping out. Do you even want to be here? He stiffens, eyes flashing. What kind of question is that? You take a shaky breath, your fingers curling into fists. It's an honest question, Katsuki. I don't want to force you to stay somewhere that you don't want to be. He scoffs, looking away. No one's forcing me to do anything. Aren't they? You press, voice small. Because it sure feels like you resent me sometimes. Like you're being tied to me is some kind of punishment. There's a beat of silence, so heavy that you can feel it pressing against your chest. And when he finally speaks, his voice is low and better. Maybe it is. The words hit like a punch to the gut. You swallow, your voice wavering as you struggle to hold back tears. I'm sorry you feel that way. He flinches, the briefest flicker of regret flashing in his eyes. But it's gone in an instant. He rubs the back of his neck, looking away as if he couldn't bear to see the hurt on your face. Look, it's just, I never asked for this. He mutters. Soulmates, destiny. It's all bullshit. I wanted to choose, my own choice. You blink back tears, nodding. I get that, Katsuki. I do. But it's not like I had a choice either. I just thought maybe in time you'd, I don't. It's not about you, Lion. You're fine. It's this whole idea of soulmates that pisses me off. Somehow, His words hurt more than they comfort. You want to ask if you'll ever be more than just fine to him. If he'll ever look at you and feel the warmth that you do when you look at him. You could at least try to be happy with me. You whisper. I know it's not what you want, but it's what we have, and it's not so bad, okay? He's silent, jaw tight as he stares at the floor. Finally, he pushes up the counter, walking past you towards the bedroom. I'm going to bed. And just like that, he's gone, leaving you standing there in the kitchen, a lump in your throat as you watch his retreating back. The days go on, each one much like the last. He comes back late, tired and irritable, rarely offering more than a curt nod or a mumble where you try to talk to him. But you still try, still hoping that one day he'll look at you with something other than indifference. One night, though, you can't keep it in anymore. You're sitting on the couch, the weight of his silence pressing down on you, and the words slip out before you can stop them. Do you hate me, Katsuki? He freezes, his hand pausing mid-reach for the remote. He looks at you, brow furrowing. What kind of question is that? It's a question, because sometimes it feels like you do. He opens his mouth to respond, but for once, he's at a loss for words. He looks away, lips pressed into a thin line. After a long, tense silence, he finally speaks. I don't hate you. It's not exactly the answer that you'd hoped for, but it's something. You swallow, fingers gripping the edge of the couch, as you force yourself to continue. Then, why do you treat me like this? You ask, voice trembling. I know you didn't ask for this, but for me, Katsuki, I love you. Isn't there any part of you that you can try to love me back with? He sighs, running his hand through his hair. It's not that simple. Then make it simple. Just try for me. For a moment, he just stares at you, and you can see the conflict in his eyes. I don't know if I can. The words hit like a blow, but you nod. Then maybe you don't have to. Not if it makes you so miserable. What are you saying? Maybe it's better if we just take some time apart. I can't keep doing this. I'm just hurting myself. I can't keep waiting for you to love me back. He stares at you, the shock evident in his expression. He looks like he wants to argue, but instead, he just nods. Yes, he says quietly. Maybe that's for the best. It's not the ending that you had wanted, but maybe it's the one that you needed anyway. And so you gathered your things in silence, leaving the apartment without a backward glance. And as the door closes behind you, you can't help but wonder if one day he will ever regret letting you go. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you like this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and goodbye!